What the fuck? Who's that? Who's that? Noobdasta? What the fuck? Okay, bird's eye view. You get it? you get This is a bird box. Oh man, I cracked myself up. All right, so we are here. We are talking about Ji-kun. As always, this is not a strategy guide. This is a video to help healers distinguish what they need to know as a healer on this fight, figure out how to min and maximize themselves, and get a bit of insight before going into a fight. So here we go. This is Ji-kun. All right, this guy's a bird. You'll notice that very quickly. But aside from that, there's very little to do healing-wise that doesn't have to do with the air. Okay, so in terms of healing, I'm going to try to break things up into two specific parts, okay? Now, the live footage I have is me doing a very specific role. I'll explain that. That's going to be the first thing I explain, and then I'm going to explain the in-flight role, okay? Very briefly, there are two roles, as I've said. Okay, let's go on that platform first. All right, so as I've said, there's two specific roles that you're going to do as a healer on this fight, and this is entirely dependent on how your group wants to do it. This is not a group strategy guide, so this is up to you. But you'll likely, you're going to have between 4 to 5 groups, 25 man now, 4 to 5 groups hopping off onto these platforms, okay? You're going to need a healer for that, and then you're going to need healers to stay on the platform full time and heal the group, the tanks most specifically. All right, because the tanks are going to get obliterated. So if it's not like, if you got healers kind of like, oh, they're worrying about too many things at once, the tanks will die. I promise you that. So my role on this fight, as you'll see in the live footage, is healing the tank. I am the tank healer. Me and one other person, as we had 5 groups, are full-time tank healing. And everybody else is healing the raid. And we heal the raid as well when the time comes. But in terms of the tank, there's, very little to worry about. You just fucking put your heals on them as much as fucking possible, because they're going to take, let's see the actual name of the ability, shall we? Yeah, there it is right there. Talon Rake is the name of the ability, and it will just stun your fucking tanks. It is going to beast them down. It's ridiculous how much it does after a few stacks. So it's on you. It's a 1 minute thing, so the tank's got to figure this out. But as a healer, it's on you to keep them alive through it. Be ready for anything. Sometimes they dodge them, and other times they just fucking get hit for 100% of their health. It's ridiculous. It goes through the armor or whatever. So that's your job. I would watch the cooldown tracker DBM has, and put down hand to sack on him, pain suppression, iron bark, things like that. Keep the tank up at all costs. Aside from that, I'll show you exactly what I do in the fight in the live section. The next thing I want to talk about is the actual flying component. Okay, so this is very similar. Once, as a healer, you'll hop down. As I said, it's not a strategy guide for the actual raid, so you should know how to do this anyway. But anyway, you'll have a very specific role. Okay, you'll heal people down here. They're going to take a good amount of damage. Okay, and then once it's done, you're going to go back up. This is a rinse and repeat thing. So when you're down there, your job is to heal the 4 or 5 people, however you set up groups. Your job is to heal them. That's it. Keep those people alive at all costs. They're going to take a lot of damage. But do not use cooldowns. Do not use big cooldowns, okay? You'll want to save it for when you get back up, because it's likely, more than once, going to time up very, very poorly, unfortunately, with the quills. And the quills is when you want to pop everything you have. Okay, this damage is insanity. So we'll show that as well. That's kind of doesn't really depend on what type of healer you are. It just depends when you're on the platform. But past that, it's literally just find the people that need healing and heal them. Especially when you're down below or even above, when your group goes above. Your job as a healer is the people in your group going to the certain platform needs heals. And once they have it, that's that. So let's head right on to the live footage. I think that's about everything, and we'll show off exactly what I mean about a few of these mechanics. All right, here we go. So yeah, we got the live footage coming at you now. There's not a lot to talk about, but it's going to happen many times. So we'll try to reiterate the point each time. The first thing I want you to notice is what I'm doing right now. Okay, I've popped DP I'm standing in these puddles for a very specific reason. With Divine Protection up, any type of cooldown that reduces damage, they're very, very soakable. And as the fight goes on, there's a penalty for taking them. He makes you take more damage each time you try to take them, but I can bubble that off. So as a paladin, I was the ideal choice for staying up here and healing the tank full time. You'll notice I never leave the platform and always heal the tank. Pretty much every global goes towards the tank outside of the quills. You did just see the quills, but we'll come back to that at another time. First things first, potion-wise, okay, it's very difficult to use a potion here. In fact, when I do use one, you'll see I use not a concentration potion. And that's because some of these cooldowns really don't, or some of these timers don't line up very well. And I personally don't want to get stuck using a potion I'm not going to be able to use the entirety of. With this downdraft here you see now, the quills, you got to stack up for that. And then him being able to throw both poison and the Ka ability out at you, it makes it very, very nerve-wracking to use a concentration potion. So it's definitely ideal to use one. But I use a regular, like a mana potion here. So now you see there me soaking the green again. I have I've gotten a stack of this already. I'm going to get a second stack here. But we're just soaking up as much of them as we can. And then I'm bubbling off after I get 4 or 5. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to coordinate it. Like I said, I'm going to mix DP and Aura Mastery. As Aura Mastery is completely useless for the quills. It's all physical damage, okay? So I'm going to use Aura Mastery for my own personal benefit to be able to soak these poison things. And I'm going to use DP pretty much every other whenever I want to soak one. And I'm doing this based on my own comfortability with my mana pool and my health pool. And you'll see me soak one again here. And I'm pretty sure, yep, I've Aura Mastered for this one. And then once I get 5-6 stacks, that's it. You won't want to risk it past that. But then what I'll do is I'll bubble one of the quills, so I'll take no damage, and I'll clear the buff, and then rinse and repeat from there in terms of soaking. This is imperative of the healers on the platform, because the DPS don't want to do it. That's a loss in DPS. As a healer, you could pretty much keep yourself alive. So it's something you're going to want to do as often as humanly possible. Okay, so now you'll see a quill there. Let's talk about the quills. I do want to keep an eye on the bear tank, though. I feel like a very important event is about to happen. So the downdraft, in terms of healing, as a healer, just be as close as you possibly can. Make sure you're spread out for the rest of the abilities that they do. The Ka ability from both him and the birds in the air, if there are any. You'll see at some point a few of us get murked by them. Maybe actually it doesn't even happen in this attempt. This is the kill, so it probably does not. But there's a few times where, yeah, that ability right there, the Ka. Now that is actually avoidable, but I did not avoid it there. So as a healer, your job is definitely... Now watch the Druid tank. Watch his health. He's the top bar on the right side. Boom! Look at that shit. 91% of his health. All gone in 1 fucking second. It's ridiculous. That is the damage I was talking about before with the Talon, whatever the Talon Strike or whatever that shit is, stacks up. So I think we had him taking 2 or 3 each, and then taunting off each other and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean it can be done. It definitely can be done, but you're gonna need cooldowns. That's for damn sure. I recommend throwing a hand of sack on, etc. I did it a few times. You see here, I think I still haven't bubbled yet, so I'm risking it. I'm playing the risk game right now. There's a boomkin, a fucking bombkin over there trying to... Look at the fucking bombkin standing in that shit. That's pretty cool, too. I think that's a bombkin. But, yeah, okay, so here we go. Next quills, I'll explain. Basically what you're going to do, what you want to do for quills is you'll see kind of stay spread, but then when it happens, you need to stack. Very, very important, because healing... people outside of a few, 30, 40 yards, no, it's not going to happen. Just does too much damage. Now, the people who are in the air, they should get a buff, a healing buff, and that buff is going to help them heal the quill. But basically what I'm doing is I'm throwing my hammer down, get AoE heals down for sure, and then you have plenty of cooldowns. You should be fucking using them. Especially as a paladin, I'm using one. Basically, I'm doing, for the first one, I'm doing Divine Insight or whatever that shit's called. And then for the next one, I'm doing Hammer. Then the third one, you won't have one. Then Divine Insight or whatever should be back up. And then Hammer should be back up if you follow that rotation. The Hammer itself is... no, did I say hammer? I said wings is what I meant to say. But the hammer ability, the level 90 paladin talent, is up for every single one of them. Very useful. Pretty much any cooldown you can use to help heal yourself as well should be used. So the totem, was that like the 30-point tier for a shaman, or actually maybe the first tier, I don't remember. But yeah, anything that you can use. So if I wasn't using divine protection on myself to heal, to soak these gas clouds or whatever, I would be using it here. I use health stones. You could also bubble it, stuff like that. That kind of stuff really makes a difference. But the quill damage starts getting very intense, so you'll need a set rotation of cooldowns going into this. It has to happen. And as a healer doing the platforms, if your group goes down, okay, when the fucking... Yeah, you are fucked. You're going to be so hard-pressed to heal through that. It's pretty nuts. It really is, especially if everybody's kind of just heading down there. People will die. So you need to make sure both coordinated cooldowns, and you need to make sure your group leaders are coordinated in when they're going. They cannot go down when a quills is happening, or they will die, guaranteed. But other than that, tranquilities, totems, double totem combos, it's crazy for this. Obviously, very, very good. As a paladin, I'm sitting on Guardian just in case. I don't know if I ever actually use it here. Fuck. I might noob it up and never actually use it. But it's better to sit on it, to be honest with you, than try to fucking pad the healing meters. Because when it does happen, you're going to know when it happens, when it's a good time for Guardian. And it's going to be a good time for Guardian. So, other than that, stick to the rotation. Use Tranks, double totem, stuff like that. Make it happen. Keep everyone alive. The farther you go into this fight with without people at low health, the easier it gets, because the room starts filling up with the green puddles. You're seeing that now, and we did a great job of soaking them on this attempt as well. So, previous attempts, almost kills, like 3-4% wipes. The room was filled, legit filled. But I do a great job of keeping them out early, and I'm able to bubble off my stacks perfectly and get exactly what I need out of this fight. So as a healer, it's not too bad. If you have any questions, let me know. But you're going to need your throughput. You're going to need direct use of cooldowns, directed use of cooldowns as well. People need to be using them at the right time. And that's about it. So if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you.